Clerics in the new Midnight Hunt set are going to be ridiculous. They are very resilient, and it is an ongoing struggle in the standard meta. Well, the newest deck that I've been playing with over the last little bit here, there's a bit with the elf deck, but this is the newer one that I've been playing with. It's a cleric style deck. I saw someone play this on Arena, and I went, this is a really neat concept. Can I recreate this? Can I make this into something as a viable standard? Well, here today, I've got you some game footage of me playing this deck. This is a very long game, so I have sped up the footage, and this is one for my history books. The game took me over 20 minutes to play, and it was a to-and-throw match. This is a best-of-1 match, and I gotta say, I'm probably up against one of the top tier meta decks right now with this underrated cleric class sort of deck with the little bit of an angel thing in there and the meat hook massacre that I'm holding in hand, but my opponent already has on the board. And you can just see from this match how resilient this cleric deck really is. It's an ongoing battle to and fro. You can see in their hand they do have that test of talents, which will stop any instant or sorcery spell, and this deck doesn't rely on instant or sorcery spell. There's a little bit there because I do have the learn lesson mechanic, but the test of talents, I just leave it in their hand the entire time because there is no reason for me to offset that. I can wait for them to tap out for certain ones that I do have it. But this is utilizing Prior of Heroes, utilizing Aura, Skyclave, Hierophant, and the Hierophant actually, if it dies or another cleric dies, then you return to the battlefield another cleric of lesser casting cost. So he is 4, and you can see there on the board, I have the Elite Spellbinder, which is actually 3. So if they were to board wipe here, then the Skyclave would die, and so would the Spellbinder, but then the Spellbinder I could bring back immediately. So here I played a little bit of a trick. I forced him to bounce or to get rid of the Hierophant just so I can play the Prior of Heroes because he was tapped out. Knowing that he doesn't have much there in the way of spells, I just went, okay. And of course, we're playing a Taking Turns deck. And I gotta say, when I saw that, I was like, oh no, this is going to be one of these matches where I'm just going to put in all this time and not be able to run with it. But this deck is very, very resilient in its way. I come back several times in this, and it makes it very, very fun. Now, the one thing I gotta say here, I did have a little bit of misluck with the way the shuffling went. I wasn't getting any of my 2-drops, any real significant pieces where they could keep coming back to the board. So it's a lot of wait, hurry up and wait with this deck. And, Loth the Spider Queen, I have to say, is probably one of the most unfair cards in the standard meta right now. It protects itself, and then when you kill the things that are protecting it, it just gets it all back and then is able to put the protection right back out. And if you do nothing, they just outdraw you 2-1 the entire time. And so Loth the Spider Queen, in my eyes, has become one of the more baney sort of cards in Standard right now. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a ban from it in the future, just because of how it's always a give and take with it. You can never really get rid of it unless you have a removal spell at this point. Like, I cannot fly in, I can't hit it. The other option to get rid of Loth would be to do trample damage, but really there isn't much trample when it goes into black and white. The red is in here just because the red doesn't need to be in here at all, but I do run the Blade Historian in here, which is 4 red or 4 white, vice versa, with the hybrid mana to put it down. So the red kind of just throws a person off when you pick out red mana to put down also with this deck. So it's quite fun in that sense, just to have that little bit of mystery with it. As you can see here, they got rid of my Hierophant, and the Spellbinder came back to the board, making me be able to pick one of their spells, and I take the lesson that they got there that makes the tokens, and it just continues. As you can see, I'm holding 2 board wipes here, and they haven't a clue. So to be able to put down one of the board wipes, the Doomscar, they have to be tapped out, but the Meathook Massacre gets around the test of talents again because it is a enchantment, not a sorcery or instant. So I think that's why the Meathook Massacre is going to be a very powerful card for the meta. You're seeing it in almost every deck out there that means anything. Here I can get rid of the one cleric, bring out something else, and I go with the Glyph Weaver because I can be sneaky with this. The Glyph Weaver in here, it finds a home. I've been trying to find a home for the Selfless Glyph Weaver for a while. This finds a home instantly. If you're able to cast it for its backside, it's a board wipe, or you can sit there and sack it. Then, in this case, I can Doomscar, keep all my creatures, and his goes away. So it's very unique in that sense. Now, not ultimately that worried here. I'm sitting on the Meathook Massacre, and with the Cleric class on board, I am out gaining his life that he's draining with his Meathook. So it's a very unique scenario in that case to have this going on. Now he still has the 2 mana open, so I can't really cast Doomscar, so I decide to bring back the Hierophant in this case. This way, if he gets rid of it, I then get to bring something else back, gain even more life, because I'm gaining life at a 3-to-1 ratio right now. He's got Blood in the Snow, which is a problematic card that can bring back a Planeswalker, which really makes it very difficult. Mordekin here is a very difficult card to deal with as well. And I got to be a little bit more sneaky here looking at Mordekin. I'm like, ooh, this thing could get really out of control. He does another Meathook for 1 just to kind of get one, but I gain more life than I lost from that. So I don't know if that was really beneficial there. At this point, I feel my opponent is grasping at straws at what he can do against my deck. He hasn't, I don't think he's encountered this type of resistance when it comes to a deck, and it just continues to bring things down. I know he has Blood in the Snow, so I'm like, I could get my other Glyph Weaver here for when he uses that Blood in the Snow, and then I can sack it and keep my Valkyrie. That's the way my process went here. I was like, I have a feeling he's going to try and do this. And then I've also got the Reduce to Memory to get rid of Mordekin. So this is going to make things a lot more interesting in the long run. Goes with the extra turn, which I'm like, ugh, I don't really want this, but that's all right. I can block 1. I'm at 23 life. I was down at like 4 life in this match. And the second I put down that Meathook with the Cleric classes, it just out gains the life here so quickly. It's kind of ridiculous how quick I gain the life. Now, really, he does seem to be stuck on what he's going to do. So the Blood in the Snow comes out, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to sack it so I can keep the Valkyrie. And I believe my opponent actually made a mistake here. He went and brought back the Merchant, but I don't think he has anything in his graveyard because Loth I actually exiled. So he couldn't bring back Loth. He didn't really have anything much to bring back. Mordekin is dangerously close to an ult here, and he still has mana up. So I'm kind of wary here to be able to get rid of it with the Reduce to Memory, but then he brings out the Loth, and I'm like, well, that just kind of opened the door. He's only got 1 mana, which is easy. I get rid of that. Mordekin's gone. I can now bring back the Hierophant, which makes it a lot easier. And I'm kind of sitting here going, oh, I think I can wait here and get the Blade Historian down and be able to smoke him in one round, because it's a 17, so it would do double damage, which would be 34. He's only at 26 life. That's the way I'm going here, but things don't go the way they're planned. He's got an Infernal Grasp. I'm sitting at 40 life. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. We'll deal with this. I'll see where we can go with this. And he pretty much taps himself out. And because he taps himself out, I'm like, I can deal with a lot of things here. Fortunately, I get the Field of Ruin to get rid of that giant land, so now I don't have to deal with it. And so I'm like, you know what? He's sitting on the mascot parade or whatever it is. So I might as well wait until he puts that down, and hopefully I can Doomscar then. And yeah, Loth can get big, but I'm going to be able to steamroll him pretty quick here. We'll throw down the Blade Historian. That's going to give me an opportunity to actually gain even more life here. And I don't think he realizes what he's done here with the double striking here, because double strike, and I can boost this thing up drastically with the uptick in the cleric classes and the level up system that's there. So now I get a lot more. I spread a little bit over to the Blade Historian just to be sure that if he does attack here, I can deal with it. And once again, my life total is above 40. I'm at 47 here from him swinging at me, or me swinging at him. So it's just this back and forth, and it's the unsolvable riddle that my opponent is having to deal with here, and it's quite entertaining. He gives it up there at the end, and I'm ranking up once again in gold. Well, you've seen the deck in action, and now what do we want to do? Well, I'm going to do a deck tech, but not in this video, because I just wanted to give a bit of a play-by-play here. The deck tech will probably come out sometime in the next day or so. I will go over it, because those tends to be a little bit longer of a video, and I think I've rambled on long enough with this one. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. This is Proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. Don't forget to like and subscribe today, and I will see you all next time.